We'll let people slowly start to join, but here we are. Let's talk
Yeah,
hunting. One more
and it
year
is.
with COVID.
Oh, no kidding. I'm ready to do some more hunting. I mean, whitetail season's coming. I
I
mean,
know.
just a few weeks we'll be white hunting in a lot of states.
I
So
can't.
antelope season's open. Just got back from that. Had an awesome time in New Mexico. So, but whitetails is where it's at for me.
Can't
I
wait.
love chasing them.
Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
tell everybody who you are real quick. So we've got James with Open Season TV here, and we're going to kick it off. Kind of the first season. Let me. I need to turn something down here real quick. So we're going. James, tell everybody a little bit about where you are and who else you're working with.
So we're based out of Indiana, West Central Indiana. My partner is Chuck Paddock. He's what I call the star of the show, and I'm the guy. I'm the working man of the show. He just has a great job that allows him to do a lot more than I do. He's taking full advantage of it.
Yeah.
We air on Pursuit Channel, Hunt Channel TV, and Carbon TV. So we get out there, we stream, and we have a pretty good following. And normal people work. I work a full-time job and do this on the side.
You've got a huge following, like 250,000 Facebook fans. I mean, I know you're Pursuit Channel. You guys are kind of right up there at the top. You must air 5, 6, 7 times a week. In prime
4
spot.
times. Yeah.
How many?
4 times a week. Yeah. So
four times a week. Yeah.
We do pretty good. We were your typical kids that loved hunting and actually turned it into something else, and people enjoy what we do. And I think it's because we don't fake anything. I mean, we're just ourselves every day. We work. Chuck has kids, wife, grandchildren now, so his life revolves around that. And when we get out and hunt and film, that's what we do.
How many years have you guys been doing open season?
This is our 3rd season.
Wow.
So we've been doing it for quite a while. And it doesn't seem like it. I mean, when you love what you do, I mean, people talk about this and work and stuff. If you love what you do, and we love hunting, the show has been easy to do. Hasn't been a burden.
I know it's great and it's awesome. I don't think people really understand, and maybe we won't launch right into it, but really understand how hard you guys work to run tens of thousands of miles a year to go hunt stuff all over. I mean, it is truly amazing what you do because you love it, but also to put a TV show together, and how many guys it takes doing that a year to put together a TV show.
Yeah, and you only see, well, a TV show 21 minutes and 30 seconds. So each episode you only see 21 minutes and 30 seconds of what it took. But for every hunt that we do, we probably have 60 to 100 hours of actual filming and hunting trying to make something happen. And a lot of failures. I mean, I'm blessed with my job owning my own company that I can travel, but it's a lot of weekends is what it is, and finding cameramen that isn't full time, because you can't commit to somebody full time when you only are hunting 3 days here and 4 days there. It's hard to keep somebody on full time. It's a struggle, and it's really a planning strategy for us, just getting everything lined out to do it.
So for cameraman, men or women, do you find somebody locally and take them with you? Do you find somebody where you're going to hunt and meet up with them because you've got some history or they were recommended?
So we do both. We have some local people, actually friends and family that we've used around here, and a couple guys hired. And if it fits their schedule, because they work full time too, we take them with us, and then we hire, when we can't, some freelance guys. So either we'll pick a freelance videographer up on the road, say I'm in Colorado and he can meet me in Kansas. I'll just pick him up on the route, and then we'll take off and have a good time. And a lot of the conversation is, how do we film our show? Like, what am I looking for? What do we show? Because a lot of people are in the early days of TV, everything was reenacted, where they went back and did a bunch of cutaways and stuff like that. So, I tell my cameramen, we have multi-angle cameras. You're going to press everything, turn everything on, record, and we're going to catch everything live. And if you don't, we're not going to do a bunch of fake. I mean, you're going to have cutaways here and there, but we try to do it. Like, even when we're spotting and stalking, we're filming the actual spot and stock. So if there's a moment in the stalk where the cameraman can get ahead of me and I can walk by and we do it. But if not, he's filming me from the back. And it's probably my most attractive because you can't see my face, but it works.
That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about what maybe your most memorable hunt last year, and then talk a little bit about what your plans are for this year.
Yeah. So last year we had a property we could hunt in Oklahoma. And I'm a huge fan of big 8-pointers. And it just worked out where one of the guys I leased the property with was a cameraman. He had filmed before, so we decided to meet up and hunt this property, and we'd film each other. And there'll be an episode of it this year. But we got some pictures of just some phenomenal deer, and we scout with cell cameras. So we got out there first day in. I called this big 8-pointer in. I think I'm going to get a 20-yard shot at him. And he ends up not giving me a shot and walking away. I called him in the second time and just made him mad. Grunted hard at him, challenged him, and he started destroying trees and just getting as angry as you could. And then he just strutted right in and gave me a 18-yard shot, which was awesome, of course. But it was just the excitement of the whole hunt. It was a buck I wanted to kill. We had watched him all through the summer and stuff. Pictures of him. I actually killed him on the first day I hunted him. Went in there the first morning. But then calling and interacting with deer and working him, I couldn't beat it. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I'm still smiling about it.
I tell you what, I am awful when it comes to those situations to decide I'm going to make them mad and call them in or rattle them and grunt. And I almost always scare them off. But to be with somebody that can do it and watch it happen is unbelievable. It takes a lot of talent and a lot of practice and hundreds of hours in the field working on it and understanding how they're going to react to that exact tone or the sequences that you do it and how long to wait. And that is unbelievable.
It's body language for me. You watch their body language and you can tell if a deer's interested. Like they'll turn their heads and keep their ear pointed back at you because they're listening for you. So you'll watch their ears and their head to turn one way, but their ear will stay directed at you and stuff. And when they do that, they're trying to pinpoint you. But as soon as they can't see me, I call and they pop back around. And then there's some deer are just not interested. You just got to let them walk.
Mm-hmm. So is that 8-point? Is that it doesn't look like it's one of those little deer behind you, does it? I mean,
no, it's not.
Giant tins.
He's not here. Here, I'll share you a picture.
Cabela's? Where'd you get those deer behind?
I did. And so there was a guy I knew that was a really good hunter, and decided that he was going to just.
Are you going to share a screen here and show us that?
Yeah, I'm going to share a screen with you. Yep.
All right. You know, it's great. So while he's doing that, so this is kind of a new system we have this year. It allows us to go live across a bunch of different platforms. So we're live on the open season page. We're live on our page. We're live on our field staff page. We are live on YouTube. So, and it also allows us to do some stuff which we couldn't do before, which is share screens. So I'm going to share this screen now. So there it is. Wow.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with him. I'm not going to lie. He's going the 150s. Just a stud of an 8-pointer. I mean, like we had a couple of good ones, and that was the one I wanted, and I was blessed to get him. And he put on a show. I'm telling you, the whole calling him in was great.
That's great. So has that show aired yet?
Nope, it has not aired yet. It will air this year in probably about a month. Right about time everybody's deer hunting, we plan the deer shows when people are really getting fired up and starting to go hunting.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting fired up now. You know, we've had a couple cool nights in some places I've been, and you get a rainstorm that rolls through and you feel the temperature drop in that front and out starting to check and get some pictures of deer. I'm ready. It can never happen soon enough. Every year it just feels the same. Just so excited for it. I don't know.
Now you can, with cell phones, you're just getting pictures nonstop. So it just makes it look good.
I call it Christmas. It's like every morning I get up and I'll go and I'll have a cup of coffee and I'll just flip through my pictures, and see what's there. It's awesome. Well,
I had to
with
turn my notifications off.
yeah, yes, I do too. But there's always hundreds of pictures in the morning. It's great.
Mm.
Well, tell us a little bit about maybe the process of finding the places where you're going to hunt this year. I know you've already been to New Mexico and done some hunting. How you pick the places, how you scout them, the timing. Leave on a Thursday, back on a Sunday. I mean, tell us about that process, where you're going this year, and what it takes to do it.
So for me, I use a few outfitters that are friends of mine, and of course, my regular job is I'm an insurance agent for outfitters, so I make a lot of relations that way. But a lot of times, I get with friends and either lease property with them in their home states, or we lease property together in another state, and that's the way you can afford it. So we'll go out as soon as we get a property, we'll go scout it, put out now we put out the reveal cell cameras because just like you said, it's like Christmas every day. So you get on a property and you scout it that way. And then the way we plan it is just according to weather and moon and what the barometric pressure is going to be doing. So with me, I got to do mainly weekend hunts. Like you just mentioned, I'll leave on a Wednesday after work and I'll be back Monday for work. So a lot of times it's distance. How long is it going to take me to drive there? I mean, I try to stay under 15 hours, and I know that's a long drive for a lot of people, but with two of us driving, we'll
Right.
sleep in a truck and drive through, and then we'll be there. In the early season, it's no big deal because you leave Wednesday night and you drive through, you get there the next day, and then you can hunt in the evenings. And mainly, September, you're hunting evenings anyway, so it works out pretty good. It's the drive home that really
It's just
is rough.
exhausting, right? You're tired from not sleeping and fighting through it.
And then as far as like non-whitetail hunts, then it's all according to the state you're going to. And if you can draw a tag for a lot of these, like for elk and mule deer and antelope, it's all based on the state and their draw system. And, with us, with having different sponsors and stuff, I do a lot of archery hunting. It's my favorite thing. But I also love muzzleloader hunting, and I do a couple of rifle hunts. So I'm putting in tags for each of those. So I'll put in archery only hunts, muzzleloader only hunts, and rifle only hunts, and just see what I draw. And I'm putting in for tags in February for New Mexico. And then just throughout the season, you're putting in for more tags.
So where else are you hunting this year? And when did you put in for tags? And
So from February to June, we put in for Colorado, Kansas, Iowa. I didn't get drawn.
Me either. I got another point. Good for me.
Yeah, I'm building them up. One day they're going to give me one, as long as it doesn't keep growing like that. Colorado, I do a lot of hunting in Colorado. Eastern Colorado is, from my house in Indiana, it's about 12 hours. So it's a really doable trip to hunt whitetails, mule deer, and antelope. So we put in for that. I was fortunate to get antelope and mule deer. It's an either deer tag, so I can hunt whitetail or mule deer. But I just got back from New Mexico there. And then first weekend in September, Kentucky opens. So I'll be heading down to Kentucky with two of my good friends and with them.
Well, that special velvet whitetail hunt in Kentucky.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. Right. And then I have a small lease in South Dakota. So if I can get a few days off, I'm going to head to South Dakota. And then I'm back for Ohio's opener in late September. I think 4th, 25th this year. And then October 2nd, I took 2 weeks off work. I have 3 weeks vacation. I took 2 weeks off, and I'm doing my big trip of the year, what I call the big trip. I'm going to Colorado for antelope and mule deer or whitetails, and I'm going to Oklahoma and Texas for whitetails. So I'm going to be hopefully hunting 8 or 9 days of that trip.
Wow. Did you draw Kansas this year?
No, I did not draw Kansas.
Yeah, I think about 20% of the people that put in drew Kansas this year. And what was it harder in all the states after COVID? Guys kind of built up and maybe put in for a bunch more tags, trying to see where they could go. Have you seen that?
Yeah. So like Wyoming, and some of the units I'm putting in for mule deer, antelope, and elk, I thought I was within a couple of years of it. And then now when I talk to the Wyoming DNR, after everybody buying points and their super tag, I'm 4 or 5 years away from drawing points in these units I'm trying to hunt. So, and I know like Kansas and Iowa, I thought I was going to draw this year and didn't. So definitely there's states that I thought I was going to draw and did not draw.
Yeah, there were a record number of applicants this year, I know, in Kansas. I kind of wish somebody would have pulled me aside when I was 25 and said, "Hey, you are really going to want to go hunt this section of New Mexico or put in for elk, in Colorado, or go hunt grizzly on Kodiak Island, but it's going to take 15 or 20 years for you to do it." Um, you
Oh,
know,
sheep. I put in for bighorn sheep for 12 years and was still 12 years away.
yeah.
I mean, I would be in my late 60s before I drew it.
Wait, so you quit putting in? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I wasn't gaining. I was losing ground on the point system because there was people that wasn't taking the tags that were continuing to grow points, which just kept bumping me down. When I first started, it was 17 years. And when I quit putting in, I was still 12 years away, and I think I had 12 points.
I tell you, those guys that hunt sheep, um, gun or archery, the archery ones are even more special, but they are a special breed of people that will endure a bunch of crazy wilderness and time and flying all over the world to do it. It's really interesting talking to them.
Yeah, and for almost anybody, that's a once in a lifetime hunt.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, you got to be willing to do all it takes to do that, and those guys are, and it's phenomenal.
Do you, so let's go back to scouting a little bit. So do you have pictures like, do you have cell cameras on all the places that you plan on hunting? So you're getting reconnaissance, or you relying more on your outfitters or local people there?
So for whitetail hunts, we run all the cell cameras. Um, Even my buddies that are outfitters, they're running the same cell cameras I run, and they give me access to the app so I can see what they have and everything. But I mean, cell cameras have really changed hunting for me, especially hunting out of state, because now I can monitor properties. And when I have a buck move into an area that I want to hunt, I can literally just, if he's staying there, wait for the conditions that to hunt
Right.
him and then go after him. You know what I'm saying? If it's hot, I can wait till a cold front comes in and be okay. In 3 days, it's going to be cold. I'm going to take off work Thursday and Friday and go try and kill this deer. And I mean, that's what that 8-pointer I showed you earlier that we talked about, my favorite hunt from last year. That's exactly how that happened. We saw the cold front coming. We talked about it. I took off work. We ran out there. We hunted 3 days, killed 2 deer, and drove home. So, but it was the cameras. These bucks were in there. They were slightly nocturnal. They were coming in last light in the early morning, but we figured when the temperatures dropped, it would put them on their feet, and it works. And I do that all the time now, and have pretty good success doing it.
I want to make sure we take a couple questions. I'm getting some notes handed me here
Sure.
too while we're doing it. And one of them is, what's the best way to get a decent deer to come in and stick around? So if you know him and he's in the area, how do you know when he's going to be near you?
So with cameras, to tell you when he's going to be in the area, and you can start patterning them. Some deers, like we have farms that deer come in, and it's a 3 to 5 day cycle. We know they're going to be in these food plots or in these ridges in a 3 to 5 day span. So we just plan on being there when the conditions are right. But as far as keeping them on you, food sources is key. If you have a food and water source that they want, or bedding, and you can make that, I'll call up a picture here. We do a lot of mock scrapes and
Uh-huh. So are you
uh,
hunting? Are you hunting the food source, or are you hunting the trail that leads to the food source that is a staging area before they go into that food source in the evening, or a trail to bedding? Or are you hunting right on the edge of a food plot?
So it depends on the time of the season and morning or night. So early in the season, and I mean pretty much all of October unless we get a cold snap in late October, I'm hunting on the food source only in the evenings, and I'm running cameras to see if they're coming into the food source. And I'm in Indiana, so we have a lot of crop fields. So I'm not just talking about food plots. We utilize food plots, but I kill a lot of deer just on farmers' cornfields. We find inside corners and outside corners, and where the deer come out in the fields, put trail cameras on them, and just monitor them. And I use a spotting scope a lot, and I'll watch them. There's a lot of days I don't hunt that I get off work and I just out in the evenings with a spotting scope and watch fields. And once I get on a buck, then as soon as the conditions are right, I got the right wind to hunt a tree stand, I'm in there on him.
It's awesome.
So,
Does Chuck know how to run a camera, or will he
oh,
sit
he
behind
does.
you?
He can run one. Yeah. And like morning hunts, we're hunting transition zones between bedding and feeding. I mean,
Yeah.
that we're not on the food sources at all. And then back in the evenings, we're either right by the food sources. Depends on if the bucks are coming out in the food in daylight or not. If they're not, we'll go to staging areas. So, and that's where I was talking about. We use a lot of mock scrapes and stuff because we'll go in the woods and create staging areas where we know these bucks are coming through, and they'll hang out and rub and scrape in those areas, and we'll have a tree stand in there, and we've been successful doing that too.
Yeah. So, do you want to be quiet in the morning when you walk in to do that?
Oh, yes, entry and exit routes too. You don't
So
want to
I
cross
bring that
where
up
the
because Chuck had me out. It's probably been 5 years ago, and I got to hunt a little bit of Indiana, and we walked in a long ways, and which was fine, and got to a stand. And in Kansas, we're kind of 15-foot ladder stands were fine, and I started crawling up a tree. I don't know. I must have been 30 feet and a little scared to death, and I think I'd forgot my headlamp. I had a flashlight in my mouth, and I was climbing up. I finally got up and got myself buckled in. And I was just a little shook up, from it.
yeah.
And I laid my bow down as I was doing that on the bottom of the stand. Anyway, I managed to kick my bow off my stand. Had to crawl back down and get it. So obviously we did not get a deer that morning, but
Well, you're a little sweaty too by the time you did all that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, quiet is key. I don't think you were that quiet.
No, it was something else. Well, tell us a little bit how far. So, there's a question here from a guy. It says, "How far will human scent travel?" So I know you use all of our stuff and whatever, but how far will it travel? What's your experience?
Depends on the thermals. So if the more odor you're putting in the air and whatever the thermals are doing, it's going to travel farther. So if you have a light thermal and it's not shoved to the ground or going up in the sky, whether you have a rising or a setting thermal, it's going to carry on that. Any light breeze and the thermal is just going to carry your scent farther. What we try to do is put our scent in a area that a deer is not going to travel. But generally, I mean, 100 to 200 yards is not unheard of for a deer to wind you if it's heavy.
Yeah.
And you don't have that fall. Like, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, if you got a falling thermal, like a drastic temperature change, so like in the mornings, you generally have a rising thermal because the earth is cold and the sun is hot. So as it heats up the earth, it pulls your scent up. But in the evening, you get the exact opposite.
Right.
It's hot and then cold, and it shoves it down. So if you have a fast temperature change, like an evening it gets real fast, it's going to drive your scent down faster. So you can control it better by putting it in drainage ditches, ravines, and stuff like that, and hunt off those and actually just suck it down in them before the deer even knows what happens.
That's interesting. And when you go to hunt these places, how do you have stands up already? Do you go in the summer and do it? Do you have somebody local do it? Are you leaving stands?
We go midsummer and hang everything. So July, August, sometimes in June, depends on how far it is. In the states that I have friends, they're hanging them on their properties or our leases together. So it just depends. Like South Dakota, we just got that lease. We're going to hang and hunt. I mean, we're going to go out there, scout, hang and hunt. So we'll spend 1 or 2 days figuring the deer out. I mean, we have cell cameras, but we'll still be watching them with spotting scope and stuff and seeing what trees are coming by.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is I don't think people really realize, not only are you traveling a long ways and doing this in places that are a little unfamiliar, but you've got twice the noise, twice the gear, 8 times as much movement if you've got a guy in there that's trying to take shots of stuff. 4 times as much smell. Probably, again, they're moving all over the place. Tell us how you deal with that.
Well, sometimes it's hard. A lot of communication for sure. Like we have a game plan. The guys that I hunt with all the time, we pretty much have a system getting in and out of tree stands, how we hang everything up. The the problem we run into is when we use new people or just a person here and there, and they're not used to our system. And you touched on scent. So I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but we have some cameramen that will hunt all day that we've used, get up at the last minute, no scent control, whatever, and then try to climb in a tree stand with us. And I'm getting up early, showering, everything like that. So, the scent crusher
Only as good
product
as
has,
your weakest link, right?
yeah. So with the cameraman, not sometimes doing proper scent control, I literally make them get undressed and I put everything in the bag while we drive to the spot just to get what extra scent control I can get. And it helps. I mean, 3 to 5 seconds may be the difference. Like if you can keep a deer in front of you that may be winning something or somebody, if you can get him to hold a few more seconds or take it one more step, that could be the difference between success and failure. So, but as far as putting the equipment and stuff up, if they've never done it, yeah, you got a flashlight and you're going slow because they're going to make so much noise. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's pretty rough on them, especially 20 foot up in the air in the dark.
Right. Yeah. Us newbies aren't so good at that. I totally get it. Yeah.
Well, new to the stand at least.
Yeah. Yeah. While we're out there, everybody feel free to ask questions too, and we'll try and pass them along to them as we're going through this. I was just looking down here to see if we had. Are there any more questions you have over there as we're coming in? What are you most excited to hunt this year?
Mule deer.
Yeah.
So I mean, I whitetail a lot, and I love whitetail, but mule deer is my favorite big game animal. It's just hard to get takes and hard to hunt them. So, and I've been pretty fortunate. Like, let me see, that's my biggest one right there. They're just, I love them. They're just huge and they're hard to hunt. I hunt them in eastern Colorado now. It's wide open. I've killed them in cornfields, stalked them in cornfields. They're just a different animal, and I really like them. I don't know why. It's my favorite animal, though, by far.
And are you? When are you going to hunt them in velvet this year?
No, they'll be hardhorn this year when I hunt them. Yeah. So in October they'll be hardhorn. I'm gonna. So I set a goal a few years ago to take all the animals I hunt: whitetail, bear, mule deer, and elk, all with a bow, a crossbow, and a rifle. And I've killed a mule deer with a bow and a rifle. I've killed a bunch of them with a bow and one with a rifle. So now this year I finally drew a muzzleloader tag. It's taken me several years to draw a muzzleloader tag. So I'm going to try to get my first muzzleloader mule deer.
That's awesome. We've got a question here from Steve Murray. He said, do you ever self film? And if so, what kind of pointers do you have for that?
So we have self-filmed. We don't do it a lot. Conditions have to be ideal. So the only time that I personally self-film anymore is out of blinds, because I can get away with movement and stuff, and it's usually on a food plot. And so what I do every time is I set up and see where the camera can film and where I can shoot, and I try to line those two up, which is also why I do it offline, because with a tree stand, it's really hard with the movement and stuff, because I know, okay, I've set this food plot up right. The deer are going to be in front of me. So when they get from here to here, I know I can do this zoom factor and still capture everything, and I have that much room to shoot them. But really, it's all the pre-work that makes it successful for a self-filmed hunt. And we've filmed antelope hunts, self-filmed, whitetails, but it's really just understanding where you can shoot and where the camera can see and trying to get them at the same level. So a lot of times I set the camera just at my eye height. So the camera's like right here. So what I'm looking at, the camera's looking at. So when I'm moving the camera around, I don't have to worry about it getting covered by the blind or a tree limb or something like that.
Interesting. Yeah. And you can't run as many different angles and all the rest of it. I know it's
a totally different ball game. It's hard. The guys that do it good, much respect for them, because it's hard enough to do it with a cameraman in the tree with you or hunting with you to capture phenomenal footage. And some of these guys are doing it themselves and just good on them. They're talented.
I've got a question here from Ryan Michael. He asks, how often should you wash your hunting clothes?
So for me personally, 2 days, unless I sweat a lot. So I'll hunt consecutive days in the same outfit. Obviously, with using the Scent Crusher products, we crush them every hunt. I don't wear anything anywhere but when I hunt. So all my clothes are in the bag. When I go, I get dressed there. When I get back, I take them out, put it in there, and on my way for the evening hunt, I turn the bag on and crush everything in it, and then I get dressed again, and I never get back in my truck with my clothes on. So I do that for 2 days. But if I have a hard day where it's just hot and you're just drenched, that's it. Those clothes are done. I'm going home and washing them.
Yeah, once you get cool, it's a lot easier. I'll run kind of most of the second half of the season with not washing because I'm not sweating in them really. I'm just,
And you could definitely get away with that.
Yep.
I mean, Chuck has done. I mean, I know we went a week like out of state where I'm sleeping out of a camper or whatever, a tent. We don't have that option. So, like I'm talking about going here to Colorado for 2 weeks, my clothes won't get washed for 2 weeks. I'll just be using the bags and everything for 2 weeks because we don't do it. But here at home, 2 days.
Cool. Valerie R. Sprayer asks, and I may have messed up that last name here, but how do you pick your section when you're picking a state to apply for a new tag? And that's a great question because it's one thing to say I want to go hunt Iowa, Colorado, New Mexico, but how do you know among the 20 different sections that are out there?
A lot of time on Google, but there's sites like Top Rut and stuff that'll tell you your draw odds. So how long do you want to wait? And then once you see, okay, if I'm gonna go to Wyoming, I can draw here this year. So then you look at the units that you can draw that year, knowing that you're going to put in for them, and then you start researching the success of those units and what caliber animals are in those units. And if you're happy with it, then you put in and you go. And that's how we do it. Like there's certain units I know, okay, if I want to kill a big antelope, I need to hunt this part of New Mexico, or I need to hunt this part of Wyoming or this part of Colorado. So those are going to take long. Well, New Mexico's antelope, you get private land, but it's a pure lottery. So you're not building points on that. But like Wyoming and Colorado, some of those, it's 9 points, 10 points for their better units. But if I just want to go hunting this year, I may have 3 points and go, where's the units I can draw? So I go to a site like Top Rut. Hunting Full can help you. They can tell you how many points it takes for units and stuff like that. And then you just do a lot of research and talk to people. Forums are good, but go ahead.
Yeah, really in person. And I mean, that's the special thing about hunting camps. We all get to talk in the shows and stuff, which they took from us a little bit last year. And to be able to figure out who to hunt with, where to hunt, and how much time and it takes to do that. So do you know your outfitter or angle on where you're going to hunt when you put in for that unit, or you say, okay, I'm within a year of drawing or 2 years of drawing, let me start to figure it out now?
So sometimes I do. Sometimes I know I want to hunt with this guy. Either it's a client of mine or somebody I've met at a trade show or something. And for me, and Dan, I know you're this way too because you come here hunting. Sometimes the quality animal doesn't make the hunt. And for me, a lot of times it doesn't. So if I like a person and I can hunt with them and I'm going to spend a lot of time with them, I'll just go hunt with them. I mean, yeah. And if we kill something big or we kill animals, it's nice, but the experience is just as important. So most of the time I do know my outfitters, especially since my business is insuring outfitters. But if I know, hey, I want to hunt Wyoming, but I want to hunt a different side of the state, then I'll just start doing research and look for referrals, call people. And I mean, I'll get referral from the outfitter because I know, okay, I can draw this unit this year, but I don't know anybody there. So then it's just talking to them on the phone and feeling comfortable with them and good outfit. And there's some bad outfitters out there, and I've been burned doing that. I mean, everybody has.
Yeah, just part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we are about 35 minutes in here, and I don't want to take up your whole evening and wanted people to have a chance to go enjoy their evening. But thank you so much. It's been 2 years since we've done this, and we haven't
Oh
ever
yeah.
done it
Wow.
together, and it feels like it's been 2 or 3 years since we've seen each other too. So thank you for coming on. I really
Yeah, I
appreciate
appreciate it. Yeah. I'm glad I could be the test dummy for this.
it. Well, just make sure if you put in for Kansas, you keep us in the loop. I'd love for you to come and hunt with me on my ranch and do that sometime. So.
And you're always welcome back here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'll just remind everybody out there, our field staff is still open. If somebody wants to put in, we'll probably be open for another week or so on that. But we're excited for the season, and keep listening, keep watching. We've got more people. We'll have somebody on every Thursday night for the next 10 or 12 weeks here. So good luck. Good luck in Kentucky. I hope you get a big velvet whitetail. So.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening to us. Hopefully we give you some information you can use.
Awesome. Thanks so much again. I appreciate it, James.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.